Hey guys, it's Alexis, aka The Salt Reader, and I'm here today to do my March book haul. I really didn't buy too many books in March. I guess I did, but I didn't pay full price for any of these, so I consider that a pretty good month. Basically, I'll tell you guys more about it when I get into it, but I wanted to show you, first off, this little journal I got at Barnes & Noble's, and I basically bought this because I kind of wanted a journal to kind of keep all of my booktube stuff in. So you can see I kind of have tabs here. So these are basically video ideas or book release dates that I wanted to keep note of. And I went to Barnes & Noble's to get it, and I basically had to get it because it had sloths on it, and that just felt absolutely perfect considering my channel name. So yeah, I saw this one and I was like, I have to get it. So the first books that I'm going to show you I got when I went to Louisville. I went to Louisville in the second week of the month to visit a friend of mine, Suzanne, and basically while we were there I drug her around to like 5 bookstores around Louisville. We went to Carmichael's, which is the oldest independent bookstore in Louisville, and went to Half Priced Books and 2 other one of them was like a rare book shop, and then one of them was like a used bookstore. And we'd kind of just gone and spent like a whole day just doing bookstores basically. So basically the first stack I'm going to show you is all the stuff I bought when I was in Louisville. And the first thing I actually want to show you guys that I bought at Half Price Books was I got this Hotel California vinyl record. For those of you who don't know, I love the Eagles. The Eagles are one of my favorite band, and so I found this, and sure, it's not in the best condition, but the record itself still looks really nice, and so I saw it and I was like, I have to have it. So now it's going to sit here in the back of all my videos because I have nowhere else to put it. The first book I'm going to mention I also got at Half Priced Books, and it's this like really old vintage edition of The Fellowship of the Ring. Obviously the first book in Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I believe this is like a 1970s edition, and it does have this bend in the top, but this one was only like $2. And I didn't get it for me, I actually bought it for my brother because I saw it and I was like, oh, I bet he'd really love this really pretty cover edition, so I went ahead and bought this for him, and I hope he likes it. The next book I got also at Half Priced Books was this edition of Isabel Allende's The House of the Spirits, and this was only $1, but House of the Spirits is one of my favorite books, and I have no idea what happened to my copy of it. It was somewhere, and then I think when I moved I lost it, so I don't have it anymore, and I saw this edition and absolutely fell in love with it, and it was only $1, so I was like, why wouldn't I buy this? The next book I got at Half Priced Books was Wildwood, which is written by Colin Malloy and illustrated by Carson Ellis. So basically the only reason I bought this book is because Colin Malloy is the lead singer of my favorite band, which is the Decemberists, which if you've watched some of my other videos or my Favorites Friday video where I talked about my favorite bands, you'll know that I love the Decemberists. They're my favorite band, and so this is actually the first book in a trilogy that Colin Malloy wrote, and the illustrations are done by his wife. And so it's basically it's a trilogy where I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what it's about, but the illustrations are very, very pretty, and it's been blurbed by Lemony Snicket, Jonathan Safran Foer, Michael Chabon, so yeah. To be honest, the only reason I bought it is because it's Colin Malloy's book, and I will support him in all endeavors. The next thing I got is actually, it didn't come with a hardcover dust jacket, but I really, really wanted it, so I didn't care. And it is this 1977 edition of The Shining by Stephen King, and I believe that makes it first print, I want to say. But it says the copyright in here, the date is for 1977, and I've been wanting to read The Shining for forever. It's actually, I love the movie so much, and I know Stephen King does not like the movie, but I have been wanting to read the book ever since I saw the movie, and I found this edition, which, again, the copyright page says it's from 1977, and so yeah, so I saw it, and I was so excited to have it, and you know what, I don't mind this pea green color, because I really wanted it, and it was like $6, so thanks Half Price Books. The next 3 books I'm going to mention came from this other secondhand bookstore we had gone to in Louisville, which unfortunately I don't remember what they were called. Sorry. But there I only paid, I think, $5 for each of the 2 books I got, and I got Percy Jackson and The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. This was the only book in the Percy Jackson series I didn't previously own, and so when I saw it for $4.95, I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely have to have it. And this is the only one I have in hardcover too, so it's not gonna match, but that's fine. So I finally completed the Percy Jackson series, so yay. And then I also got The Heroes of Olympus, The Mark of Athena, which is the 3rd book in the Heroes of Olympus series. It's part of my plan to not only read the Percy Jackson books this year, but I also want to read the Heroes of Olympus. I previously had already owned the first one, but I didn't have the rest of the books in the series. So I saw this one. This was the only one that bookstore had, but it was also $4.95, and I kind of was like, I mean, where am I going to find them cheaper than that? So I was like, I'll just pick up the 3rd one now, and then I can get the rest of the books later. And that bookstore had a deal that if you made a purchase, they would give you an arc, basically, that they had been given. So they had this like stack of arcs that you could go through and choose and be like, oh, since I'm buying a book, I'm allowed to choose one arc. And so I kind of went through a couple of the arcs on the list to see which one I wanted, and I went with Noteworthy by Riley Redgate. This is basically about our main character named Jordan, who is bisexual and biracial, I believe. And it is own voices because I believe Riley Redgate is bisexual. I'm not sure if she's biracial, but it's basically about our main character Jordan, who wants to be in musical theater, but she has a very strange range for a girl, so she's kind of not really picked to be in musical theater, so instead she joins the all-male a cappella group at her school by disguising herself as a boy. Kayla over at Books and Lala reviewed this a couple months ago, and she said she really, really liked it. So when I saw this basically as a free arc I could pick up, I was so excited I just went ahead and picked it up. So those were all of the books I got in my trip to Louisville, which was pretty good considering, like I said, one of those was free and the rest of them I paid less than $10 for. So that was really exciting. Fast forward to just a couple of days ago at the time that I'm filming this, but it was like the 20th of March, and I went through all of the books I have on my shelf, and I basically decided to unhaul a bunch of them. I actually have a video coming in a couple of weeks where I showed you all the books I unhauled, but basically I'm moving, and so for that reason I had to get rid of a bunch of really old books that were sitting on my shelves that I was never going to read, and so I got rid of about 70 books, and I took them to the local secondhand store by where I live, and I sold them back to them. And so while I was there doing that, I found a couple of books that I wanted to buy, and it just ended up being absolutely perfect how this worked out. So yeah, I'll go ahead and show you guys the books I got. So you remember how a couple of seconds ago I was saying how I bought The Mark of Athena, which is the 3rd book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and I was like, well, I didn't have books 2, 4, or 5, and I was just like, well, I'll just buy 3 and I can complete the rest of the series later. So I was at 2nd and Charles, which is the secondhand bookstore by my house, kind of waiting to see how much money they were going to give me for all the books I was selling back, and I just happened to find the 3 books I was missing in the Heroes of Olympus series, all at a very nice discounted price. So I purchased book 2, which is The Son of Neptune, book 4, which is The House of Hades, and book 5, which is The Blood of Olympus. So this month I completed both my Percy Jackson and the Olympians collection, and I also completed my Heroes of Olympus collection, so I am all set for my yearly challenge of reading those 2 series. Alright guys, so those were all of the books I bought in March. Like I said, I really didn't buy a ton of stuff in March, just because I'm moving soon and I didn't need to buy a whole bunch of books. But here I am, the person I am. I couldn't help it. And like I said, I think the most I paid for any one of these books was $8. So, like, even the record I bought was only like $7 or something like that. So I ended up doing a really, really fantastic job this month. Pretty much everything I bought I'm guaranteed to read because they've either been purchases that completed a series for me, or they were books that I purchased that I've already read, or they're books that like I bought and I know I'm gonna read. So yeah, I'm really proud of what I did this month. Alright, but you guys should let me know down below if you purchased any books in the month of March and what you bought. Let me know, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!